Grownups, if you're looking for a fun way to sneak learning into your kids' summer, check out the podcast Mysteries About True Histories. In every episode, Max and Molly travel through time and space to keep the troublesome trolls from causing chaos. From ancient Greece to the International Space Station, Max and Molly have a blast while solving riddles and even some fun, yes, fun, math problems. Want to join in on the adventures? Follow and listen to Mysteries About True Histories on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey, Tailblazers! I'm Rebecca Cunningham, and this is Girl Tales, a kids' podcast packed with girl power and stories where every child's voice matters. Before we get started, I'd like to wish a very happy birthday to Imogene. Imogene, thank you so much for listening to Girl Tales every night before bed. I hope you have the best birthday. Grownups, Girl Tales is brought to you by families like yours. If you would like to hear your child's name at the top of our next episode, or if you would like me to wish them a happy birthday, head to patreon.com/girltales and join a team today. Now on to our episode. This is The Tooth Fairy's Assistant. Enjoy! I'd like to tell you about a friend of mine. Her name is Mimi Molar, and today is her first day at a brand new job. She is the assistant to Freshwater's Tooth Fairy. Yes, it's true. Freshwater has a tooth fairy. Every town has its own tooth fairy assigned to them, and that tooth fairy lives above them in the clouds, waiting for a precious tooth to fall. Freshwater's tooth fairy is not an ordinary tooth fairy. I mean, imagine a spy mixed with a ninja. One night, she traveled to Westminster Abbey, the village of Tazumal, and Fork River, Colorado, all in one night. She blends into the shadows, she kicks the wind, and even the stars chase her. They say she can hear a loose tooth wiggle from miles away. One night when I was a kid, I lost my tooth, so I waited all night to catch her. I just wanted to see her in action. I placed the tooth under my pillow and waited. And waited. And waited. And waited some more. It was a long night, and eventually I fell asleep. And when I woke up, there was a bubblegum drop under my pillow. How did she move so quickly? There are some days when she has no one's teeth to pick up, and no loose ones are waiting to fall out. Those are the days she goes into her office in the clouds at the Tooth Fairy headquarters. Her office is filled with tiny jars containing a tooth from the children of Freshwater. On those days, she closes her eyes and lets her wings expand and flutter. Her wings take her from tiny jar to tiny jar. She flies higher and higher in her office. She flies to a teeny tiny jar at the very top. Oh, she remembers that jar. It was her very first assignment, and she made so many mistakes. It belonged to Sophie, age 6. When she went into Sophie's bedroom, she picked up the tooth and dropped it. She looked all over the room for the tooth. She knocked over a lamp and dropped toys. She looked everywhere. She was so loud that night that she woke up Sophie. She returned to the Tooth Fairy headquarters with an empty jar. She gently touches Sophie's empty jar. The Freshwater Tooth Fairy laughs to herself as she thinks about her early mistakes. Oh. The Freshwater Tooth Fairy also deeply loves her job, but soon she will be retiring. My friend, Mimi, has been training as her assistant to take her place as the Tooth Fairy for Freshwater. No one can move faster, fly higher, gather teeth quicker than Mimi. She has been training all her life to be the best tooth fairy Freshwater has ever seen. As an assistant, Mimi has been studying the freshwater tooth fairy's every move. She knows how to take great care to ensure each tooth is well taken care of once she gathers them. On the lower level of the tooth fairy headquarters in the clouds, Mimi prepares tiny, tiny jars for each tooth that she will collect. She will label each jar with a name and an age, just as she learned from the freshwater tooth fairy. As she prepares her own jars, she goes over the types of teeth. Incisors, canines, premolars, and oh no! She is very, very nervous. Molars! Oh my gosh, my last name! How could I forget it? Incisors, canines, premolars, and molars. Today, Mimi is a flutter of excitement. It's her first day of gathering teeth all by herself. With her heart racing, Mimi hurriedly gets ready. She brushes and oils her wings to make sure they shine. She places her fairy braids in a ponytail and grabs her trusty tooth pouch. Mimi grew up in Freshwater and has been studying under the legendary Freshwater Tooth Fairy for years as her apprentice. She knows this job backward and forward. Mimi! That's her. That's the Freshwater Tooth Fairy. Mimi flutters her wings higher and higher to reach the Freshwater Tooth Fairy's office. I'm getting tired. And higher. She finally sees the glowing light of the Freshwater Tooth Fairy's wings. Welcome, Mimi. I'm so glad you're here to go on your first adventure. Mimi beams with joy. I know today is a very big day. The biggest, she bursts out. She couldn't help it because on the inside she was bursting at the seams. I am so proud that you are ready to go out on your own. I hear there is a special girl whose tooth is very loose. Her name is Layla, and she is 8 years old. Mimi smiles. She knows this is a huge job. She must ensure that every loose tooth finds its way back to the Tooth Fairy headquarters in the clouds. More importantly, she needs to prove that she can be the Tooth Fairy of Freshwater. She is ready to go right now. Before you go, I want to share some tips I learned along the way. I already know the rules. Number 1, children may never see us. Number 2, replace the tooth with a bubblegum drop. Number 3, cherish each tooth. Mimi knew the rules inside and out. Yes, I also wanted to share. I already know the rules. Like I said, I'm ready to go. The Freshwater Tooth Fairy pauses. She is a vision of grace and elegance. With her shimmering wings bowed, she sighs. I guess you are ready. I'm ready. With a flick of the Freshwater Tooth Fairy's wand and a sprinkle of Tooth Fairy dust, Mimi is off, darting through the night sky like a shooting star. Her first assignment is in a home inside the freshwater forest, her excitement growing as she passes the trees. Mimi knows this is her moment to shine. This is her chance to prove herself as a true tooth fairy. With each flutter of her wings, she feels a surge of determination coursing through her veins. She has seen firsthand the Freshwater Tooth Fairy's incredible stealth speed and quickness. Mimi pushes herself to go faster. She tries to go as fast as she can, but instead she becomes increasingly tired. Her wings are beginning to hurt. She decides to walk. And walk. Am I there yet? Finally, Mimi arrives at the home. She watches the moonlight dance through the leaves. She enters the bedroom. She listens for the telltale sound that it's time to gather the tooth. Snoring. Mimi confidently walks to the pillow and looks underneath it. There is no tooth.
Where's the tooth?
She quickly lifts the pillow higher, but the pillow falls on top of her. Mimi attempts to crawl from under the pillow, but the pillow is too heavy. Layla's eyes slowly open. Hello? Oh no! Mimi has woken up the sleeping child. She broke rule number 1. Is anyone there? The child slowly sits up. She looks around her room for the sound. Where is it coming from? It can't be coming from the pillow. Does my pillow talk now? Hi, pillow. That's not my pillow. Layla slowly lifts her pillow. Mimi slowly emerges from under the pillow. Layla's eyes widen in astonishment. Mimi's eyes widen in bewilderment. Layla has never seen a tooth fairy before, let alone one caught under her pillow. Mimi has never seen an awake child before. She has only seen them asleep. She knows them by their teeth. Children seem so vivid when they are awake. They slowly raise their arms and point to each other. Ah! Are you real?
Are you real?
Their voices fill with a mixture of curiosity and wonder. I'm not sure. I think so.
I think so too.
They lower their hands.
Oh no. Oh no.
Oh no.
Wait, why are you saying oh no?
Because you were saying oh no.
I'm saying oh no because today is my first day at the job and I keep messing up. I was supposed to collect your tooth and not wake you up. It's the number 1 rule. I was supposed to place the tooth in my tooth fairy bag, but there are no teeth here. Did I make a wrong turn or...
With a mischievous grin, Layla smiles wider and wider and wider. She finally reveals the gap in her gums. Mimi is in the right house. I knew you were real. I was waiting for you. Layla slowly opens her hand to reveal a tooth. Mimi sees it. A glimmering white tooth.
An incisor.
With all her strength, Mimi carefully scoops up the tooth and places it in her jar. She places the jar in her pouch. Layla watches all of her movements very closely. Mimi pulls out a bubblegum drop from her bag and places it in Layla's hand. No, keep it. Meeting you was the biggest treat.
Thanks, Layla. That means a lot.
Mimi spreads her wings to prepare to leave.
Hey, this one's loose too.
Layla wiggles her front tooth. It is very loose. Mimi flies to get a closer look.
I'll give it 96.3. No, 96.5 hours before I return.
And with a sprinkle of tooth fairy dust, Mimi flies off into the night sky. Her wings join the twinkling stars until she finally arrives back at the Tooth Fairy headquarters. Mimi's wings begin to flutter nervously behind her as she walks toward the freshwater tooth fairy. She knows she made a lot of mistakes tonight, and she broke rule number 1. The freshwater tooth fairy offers her a friendly smile. Welcome back, Mimi. I heard you had quite a journey tonight.
Yes. I made so many mistakes. I got lost, I couldn't find the tooth, and then I woke up Layla. I will never be as good as you.
Mimi hangs her head. She is so very disappointed by everything she did tonight. She broke rule number 1. She has studied so hard for this moment, but it seems like she will never measure up with the freshwater tooth fairy. Despite the mistakes you made tonight, the freshwater tooth fairy gently flies to Mimi. She lifts her chin to raise her head. And things didn't go as planned. You still ended up exactly where you needed to be, Mimi. You don't have to be the fastest.
You are? You are the fastest and maybe the best tooth fairy in the whole world. I was trying to be as fast as you.
The freshwater tooth fairy laughs. The fastest? No. What I was trying to share with you earlier is the importance of taking your time. You don't have to be the fastest. This is a precious job that requires delicate care for very important cargo. But we must be patient as we wait for each tooth to fall, and as we gather each tooth from every child. And we must be patient with ourselves. Mistakes are a part of learning, Mimi, especially on our first try. It is not about speed, but care. Not just for the tooth, but for ourselves. Come, let us go label your first jar, and I'll tell you all about my mistakes.
You've made mistakes?
Oh, plenty. Have I told you about my first assignment? Mimi's eyes widen. They fly higher and higher to the top of the headquarters. Mimi takes Layla's jar and gently places it on the top shelf. As they stand together, bathed in the soft glow of moonlight, the freshwater tooth fairy turns to Mimi. She extends her hand to show her Sophie's jar. The freshwater tooth fairy begins to share the many mistakes of her first assignment. That was The Tooth Fairy's Assistant,
Written by Mercedes Brazier.
Produced by Chad Chenail. Performed and executive produced by Rebecca Cunningham. Girl Tales is a Cordelia Studios production. Grownups, you can get access to ad-free episodes of Girl Tales, as well as a range of other shows for the kids in your life, by subscribing to Starglow Plus on Apple Podcasts. If you'd like to hear me narrate the original stories of Alice's Adventures in Wonderland, The Wonderful Wizard of Oz, or Rebecca of Sunnybrook Farm, head to patreon.com/girltales and join Team Sunnybrook or above. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review wherever you get your podcasts. And hey, if you loved this story, share it with a friend. Oh, and remember, I believe in you.